Well, after having last week off, the Springfield City Council is back at it tonight with the Committee of the Whole. And to preview that and talk about some other city business, we're joined now here on the WMAY Morning News Feed by Alderman Chuck Redpath. I'm Greg Bishop. Anytime you need to get a hold of me, just reach out. You can do that on or off air. Email bishoponair@gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search out Bishop on Air and you'll be able to find us there. Alderman, thanks for taking time with us at 7-11 here on WMAY. How you doing out there? How was your Thanksgiving?
I'm doing great, Greg. Thanks for calling.
Absolutely. So, of course, last week, everybody missed the council roundup. There was no council meeting. But you guys are back at it tonight. Anything that you think's really going to, take major focus this evening?
Well, I think, as you know, that we're in the middle of controversy with the shot spotter. We're getting mixed messages that it works, it don't work. I know other cities around the state have gotten rid of it. Chicago being one of them. They've induced their inspector general to go in and take a look at how it went down. So, yeah, that's going to be a topic of discussion tonight. And, that and other things, federal monies and that kind of thing.
Well, let's talk about the shot spotter technology, because we're looking at like $600,000+ contract that shot spotters in with the city on, and questions about whether or not it's really effective. In the time that we've had it, to the degree that we've had it, have we seen gun crimes decrease or gun crimes get prosecuted at a higher rate, or has it helped, I guess is the question.
Well, I don't think we've seen a lot of prosecutions because you really don't. The problem with shot spotter is that it only indicates that there's a shots fired in a certain area. And when this first started off, it was in a 10-block area on the east side. So what they do, the people that were wanting to shoot off their guns and shoot at people, just spread around the city. So, if they were shooting at White Oaks Mall, they sure aren't going to pick that up and that kind of thing. And that was a problem for us. I mean, that kind of money, when it first started off, is about $400,000 for the beginning of it, but I think they've panned that down a little bit. But here's the thing: I had every intention to go in and defeat this thing and take it, sell it to the council. That look, we're not getting our money's worth. We can take $400,000 or up to $600,000, and we can put more police officers out on the street, which makes more sense than technology that's not solving a whole lot of crimes. Since that time, people that I do trust on the city council, and it's hard to trust people who are trying to sell stuff to you. It's like
well, and a lot of times, I hear these presentations come in front of the council, and it's a company that's looking to sell a service or to say, hey, we can research this for you and get you one of those reports to put on the shelf to collect dust. It seems a lot of times that is the case, is people just trying to sell the city council and by defect the taxpayers on a service or a program.
Absolutely. And that's been the problem for the city council, is we're getting one-sided stories when we get this. And of course, people who really don't know a lot about law enforcement and things that are going on are thinking, oh, this sounds really marvelous. This probably could be our savior to try to get rid of guns crimes in Springfield. Well, it really wasn't. And, the problem with this is that we have to have, either technology that's going to pinpoint where somebody's going to be in a certain crime situation. So the caveat of the whole thing is that we're bringing in this license plate reader thing, where we can put those cameras up at areas of interest. If we got active shooting going in certain neighborhoods, we can put those around those neighborhoods. When the shot spotter goes off, it clicks. They start hitting the cars that are going by to try to identify people in the area. The problem with the shot spotter before is we had no idea. We had no idea who it was. By the time that we would usually get there, basically the cars, whoever was shooting is gone. And the chief tried to sell this to us, saying, hey, look, but once we identify their shots, we can go in there and we start interviewing people, and they can tell us what happened. It ain't going to happen.
Well, I
people
mean,
aren't going
has
to
that
tell because they're
happened
afraid
when?
of retaliation.
Yeah, has that happened when a traditional 911 call comes in? Hey, there were shots that were fired around this area. I mean, isn't that the same kind of indication?
That's exactly, and that's not going to happen. People are afraid. They're scared to death of retaliation. It happens every day here in Springfield. That if shots are fired, they go up and say, "Did you see anything?" Nope, didn't see nothing. Even though they may have, they're not going to say because this is a situation where gangs are retaliating against each other. So but so the bottom line is tonight that we have to decide is are we wanting to spend this kind of money if we're not getting the results that we thought we were going to get? Um,
But
I
but
was
you're also
talking
but you're
to
also saying if ShotSpotter is used in tandem with targeted license plate reading technology, that could help. How much is all that going to
absolutely,
cost?
and from what I was told from a person that I trust totally at the on the Springfield Police Department is look, this is a uh, three prong fork here. We have the technology with ShotSpotter, we have the license plate reader, and we have the early response uh, technology to send directly to the cars. Um, and I just pulled up the newspaper and I seen a picture on the front page of the paper this morning of them showing how they were demonstrating that with one of their officers. So I want to hear all this. Uh, I've reassessed my opinion of this, and I think we all need to listen and make sure this is right for us. $600,000 is a lot. We could put 10 more officers on the street.
I was
So
just going to ask how many law enforcement officers could that hire to get back on the streets?
yeah, about between 8 and 10 probably is about what it could do. And the thing is that we have a minimum manning right now of 17 officers per shift, and mostly on the afternoon shifts. But I can tell you that there's been a lot of times we haven't hit our minimum manning. And when you get a situation with uh, we have shots fired, cars from all over the city took off to go to that area to try to. When you compile all those cars, there's no coverage of the rest of the city. So we really need more officers on the street. So this is going to be a tough decision for us to spend this kind of money when we should be putting it in personnel.
Well, we'll definitely be listening tonight to see how the conversation goes. We're talking with Alderman Chuck Redpath here on the WMAY morning news feed at 7:18. Something else that's been discussed. You've already got $15+ million from the Federal America Rescue Plan Act funds. The city's set to get another 17 million, I believe, after getting that initial 17 million, but having already doled out some of that to like the fire department and a few other things. Um, where are we at with finding out how those dollars are actually going to be used in the years ahead?
Well, first off, we can't use it as a special fund to hand out to just anybody. This these are monies that we could use in our wards to make sure that we get special projects done. Like in Ward One, uh, septic tanks leaking into Lake Springfield is a major problem. If we're not cited yet, EPA eventually is going to come in and say you need to shut this down. We want to dedicate that some of the money to those kind of things. I know in wards 9 and 8 and 10 they have severe storm sewer flooding over there all the time when it rains. If you certain areas you can't get a car through there, so those are just certain projects that each one of us have. But mine is obviously septic tank replacement with sewers, and I've been working with the sanitary district for a couple of years, and they're ready for it. The city's not ready, but now we have this kind of money. We could take that money and put it forward towards those projects. The mayor has different ideas. He wants to reimburse salary things and stuff like that. I don't agree with that. I think it's important that we stay within our budget, and we budgeted to take care of personnel and overtime and all that other stuff when we pass the budget. If we're going to get in the budget where we go outside the budget and completely blow our budget every year, why do we have budget hearings? I mean, we we make a budget, and the budget needs to be. If you can't stand by it, there's a problem. I know in the fire department they're talking about a $2.5 million deficit in their overtime budget. You know what that is? That's mismanagement.
Well, I was going to
And
say,
I
I
thought,
mean, it's like they try to, make up for not having overtime here by having the staff necessary to not have people go into overtime.
right. And here's the thing. Uh, there's situations that they have to have overtime. We get that, but you budgeted for a certain amount. They already $2.5 million. That means we take that out of fund balance. Um, and then when we get into the budget, we're in contract negotiations where we're going to have to increase some of the salaries for different unions that we're negotiating with. One of the fire departments asking for $6 million. That takes a lot of a big chunk of money out of our fund balance. So we need to hold the line, and I think mismanagement is the reason we have problems with the overtime.
Springfield Alderman Chuck Redpath, greatly appreciate you taking the time with us and delving into these two big, important issues. We'll see how much of that comes up tonight with the Springfield City Council Committee of the Whole, and we'll bring it all to everybody with the council roundup tomorrow. Greatly appreciate the time. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Okay, Greg. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. It is the WMAY morning news feed at 7:22.